Alright guys, time for another video. This is going to be a review of Parting of Ways, which is episode 6 of Power Rangers Time Force. Now the episode starts off with Wes and the other Rangers fighting some random monster that they never actually say his name. Wes is able to defeat him, but he grows, so the Rangers call on the Time Force Megazord, which they call for in jet mode for some reason. Then they transform into mode blue, and then they're able to weaken the monster, but out of nowhere they just transform into mode red. It really comes out of nowhere. I don't know where it happened. I mean, it just, like, they're mode blue in one scene, then the next scene they're mode red. Makes no sense. But they're able to defeat the monster with mode red. Then it goes to the theme song. After that, Wes and Jen start talking, and she mentions that he's a great ranger or something, and he starts saying, "Oh, I'm really great," and then she starts belittling him and stuff. Just a useless conversation, really. Then next scene is Wes talking with his father, and all of a sudden, there are kids playing softball, and the softball actually hits Mr. Collins, and he gets pissed off, so he tells the kids, "I'm going to keep this softball to teach you a lesson," which is a really dick move, if you ask me, and apparently if you ask the Power Rangers producers too. Wes's father then gives Wes the ball and says, "Go throw it away," or something. So after his father leaves, he ends up giving the baseball back to the kid. They then go to Rancic's lair, and Nadira creates a plan where she thinks that it would be better if they kidnap someone and ransom them for cash. So they summon a monster, but it's pretty much just a standard monster, but the head is actually like detachable, where the head is floating around, stuff like that, and then its body can also move on its own, so it's kind of weird. That monster then ends up attacking a bus and kidnaps the kids from earlier in the episode. The Rangers then appear with their vector cycles, I forgot what they're called, and they try to stop the bus, but the monster attacks Lucas and Jen. They get thrown off their bikes, and then after that, the monster drops a bomb and defeats the rest. Then he throws a letter out that demands $10 million in exchange for the kid. So to do this, Wes says, "I got a plan," and he goes to his father's house, where his father's having a business meeting with some owners of another company. Wes walks in, takes him away from the meeting, and asks him for $10 million, and his father refuses. He sees his father walk off back to the meeting, and his father then buys the company that the other people own for $10 million. Pretty much just rubbing in his face that you can't have my $10 million. And it gives them a check. Edward Albert, he is a phenomenal actor here. I mean, Time Force is known for its acting, because the acting was much superior compared to previous seasons and most seasons after it. And I think he's probably one of the better actors on this season. He did really well playing Mr. Collins. At the beginning of the series, he was pretty much just a dick, and he ended up being a pretty nice guy towards the end. This episode kind of makes his transition to a nice guy seem more dynamic, and makes it seem like it actually made him change. Wes then talks to his butler, I believe his name is like Phillips or something, some standard name, who tells him that he should make his own destiny and he should follow his heart. While this is all happening, the Rangers are searching for the kids on their cycles. Wes then sees the business owners that sold their business walk out of the mansion. And Wes decides to run down, and right before they leave, he tells them that the check that his father wrote was for the wrong account, and he ends up stealing it. Now, I don't understand, like, what these people were thinking. I mean, like, someone comes, you have a $10 million fucking check, and some guy comes up to your window and says, "Oh, the check is wrong," and you just give it to him? I mean, what the fuck is going on here, but whatever. Jen finds where the kids are being held, and at the same time, Wes brings the money to go through with the deal. What I don't understand about this scene either is that how did Wes get $10 million fucking in cash that quickly? Now, even if you go to a bank and cash that check, there's no way they're going to be able to give you $10 fucking million just right away. And if they do, that's one pretty damn good bank. But then Nadira takes the money, but still orders for the kids to be killed. At that same moment, Jen, Katie, Trip, and Lucas arrive and rescue the kids. Wes then fights off some Psychobots and gets the money back from Nadira after going on his vector cycle. Other Rangers are fighting off the monster and the Psychobots, and they're pretty much defeated, and the monster's about to kill the kids, when all of a sudden Wes arrives and comes to the rescue, and the kids are able to escape. The monster gets pissed off and attacks the Rangers. They then combine their weapons and make the Vortex Blaster and destroy the monster's head. The body is still alive, however, and grows big. The Rangers then call on the Time Force Megazord Mode Blue in the battle of the monster. They then call on the Time Jet, end up shooting the monster down, defeating him, which is one of the few times where they actually use Mode Blue to defeat the monster. Most of the time it's Mode Red, as Mode Red is actually the main Megazord. But Mode Blue is usually used at the beginning of the battles, and they usually transition to Mode Red later on and defeat the monster. But this time it didn't really happen. Wes then goes back to his house where he returns the money to Mr. Collins, but he's really fucking pissed off. He's like, how dare you take my $10 million fucking dollars. Mr. Collins then gets a message from his secretary or something saying that reporters have arrived. And he walks out. The reporters come to his house and pretty much praise him for saving the kids. And like the dick that he is, he takes credit for it. He says all that matters is that the kids are okay. And I love this next scene where Wes pretty much just tells the reporters that he's gonna donate all $10 million to charity. I fucking love that scene. Just like, fuck you, Dad. It's just amazing. He then tells his dad that he wants to make his own destiny, and then leaves the house. He then ends up moving in with the other Rangers, and that's the end of the episode. There's something else I want to talk about this one scene, is that he only has one bag. Is that really all the shit he owns? I mean, he's rich enough to the point where you would think he would own more shit than that. Yeah, he comes to the clock tower with only one bag. I think this episode is really awesome. It has a couple flaws here and there, just minor nitpicks, really. Like, how'd Wes get the cash so quickly? Why do you only have fucking one bag with him? Why the fuck the guy with the $10 million check would give Wes the fucking check just for like, okay, whoa. But overall, I really like this episode. I give it a 9 out of 10. I love this episode as a kid, and I still love it now. So yeah, that's my review of A Parting of Ways. Thank you for watching.